All right, with today being May 12th, 2021, today is NFL schedule release day. And with that, we will be taking a peek at the 2021 schedule for my favorite team, the Chicago Bears. A little bit of background before we take a look. I have predicted my prediction for seasonal record. Now that depends on who's at quarterback. We know that's a big deal between Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. I don't know who's going to be starting, but my prediction is best case scenario. Also, according to NFL analysts, the Bears have the third hardest schedule out of all the 32 teams in the NFL. And the way our schedule's laid out is special. It's the first time in the Bears' 102-year history of having an alternating schedule, meaning it's one away game, one home game, away, home, etc., all the way through the end of the season. This season is special because it's the first 17 game schedule. And with that, let us take a look at the schedule and my predictions for the season. With week one, we head over to the West Coast to play the LA Rams on Sunday Night Football. Now, I don't know who's going to be under center, but I think it's going to be we have a tough schedule regardless. I don't think the Bears are going to win week one. With the Rams getting Matthew Stafford, which is an improvement over Jared Goff, I think. Even though they do have to deal with his massive contract, but that defense is phenomenal. Week two, we're at home against the Bengals. That should not be an issue. The Bengals, while they have a relatively decent offense with Joe Burrow coming back and their new receiver with their draft class, which helped the offensive line as well as the receiver, I think the Bengals should not be an issue. Again, we travel. As you can see, it's an alternating schedule. We go to Cleveland. Cleveland's gonna be it's gonna be a tough one. With Odell coming back and Baker Mayfield expected to take a major step this year. I don't know. They have I think the best defense in the league. I think Cleveland has the best defense in the NFL. That's just my opinion. You can comment below with your opinion, but that's my opinion. And then we come back home to play the Lions, who have acquired Jared Goff from the Rams, as well as a couple of other pieces here and there, but I think they're in the fits of a rebuilding phase, so I don't think there'll be much of an issue. I think the Bears get a dub, start off 2-2. Week 5, we head out to the desert, to Vegas, to play the Raiders. Week 5. Now the Raiders opening up the new stadium, bringing in the Chicago Bears. Now, the Raiders have given some teams fits in the past, but I think the Bears can take down the Raiders in Vegas week 5. Now, week 6 is a tricky one. Now, hear me out. With all of the Packers drama, now as a Bears fan, thoroughly enjoyable. I love hearing about drama from up north. It's good stuff. I don't know who the Packers are going to have at quarterback. They just signed Blake Bortles to a one-year deal. I don't know if that's going to be their third string behind Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, or if Blake Bortles is going to be starting week 1, or if Jordan Love is going to be starting week 1. We don't know. We probably won't know till later. So I have the Bears getting a W against the Packers at home. I don't know. Honestly, that game can go either way. If Rodgers is gone, NFC North is really up to anybody. But if Rodgers is playing, I think the Packers will win the division. Week 7, we're off south to Florida to play the Buccaneers in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium, which just hosted the Super Bowl. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they brought all 22 of their starters back. All the coaching staff is the same. I think they're going to be better this year. So I think the Bears are going to have a big struggle down there. So I don't see them winning whatsoever. Eventually, they come back to play the Niners, who's either going to have Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance at quarterback taking the snaps. I don't know how I feel about this one. I feel like it's a trap game where on paper the Bears should win, depending again who's at quarterback. But you never know. So for the sake of it, they have a fairly good defense, especially defensive front. Secondary is not terrible. I think the Bears can get it done at home against the 49ers. Now, week 9 is an interesting one. Here's why. We go on the road to play Pittsburgh Monday Night Football. I have the W/L for a few reasons. The Steelers have a relatively decent offense with their receiving core, Big Ben, and their defense is pretty good. But they have a tendency to play either really good or really poorly. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. So this one I think could go really either way. It depends on what's going on at that time. That's a long way away. Oh, and the 49ers game, backtracking a little. That's Halloween. Week 8 is Halloween. Which, hey, football on Halloween, it's a good time. We have a bye week 10, and then we're at home week 11 against the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is scary. Not even gonna lie. That man, he can make anybody miss. I'm telling you. He's made people fall flat on their back by just snapping the ankles. I don't see the Bears, unless they can contain Lamar Jackson in the pocket, there's really no chance. So I have them taking the L. Week 12 will be the morning game at about 11 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. Again, Detroit, I think, is in the rebuilding process, so I don't think there'll be an issue. The Bears have kind of owned Detroit the past few years, although that could change. But right now I have them taking a dub. Week 13 is another one of those possible trap games, I think. Although Kyle Murray has improved a lot, and the Arizona Cardinals have built that offense up very well with acquiring A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins, as well as having Larry Fitzgerald. That's a very, very good receiving core with a very good mobile quarterback in Kyle Murray. Now, their defense, they beefed up a little bit by acquiring J.J. Watt from Houston. Houston's just a mess. We're not going to talk about Houston, but I don't know. I have them taking the W, but that I could see going either way. Green Bay Sunday Night Football in Green Bay. Lambeau Field is a different environment. It's electric. It's loud. That's a late game. That's a late game in the season, so it's gonna be cold most likely. That'll be what? Early December? So it'll probably be very cold up there, which is nothing new to Chicago. But again, it depends who the Packers have a quarterback. So I haven't taken the L because they don't really play well up in Green Bay. In past history, they don't really perform well in Green Bay. So we'll see. We come back home, week 15, Minnesota Vikings, Monday Night Football. We all know Kirk Cousins has a hard time playing Monday Night Football. We all know this. He's like 1-5 or something in his career. We don't talk about the one game he's won. That's not important. But they did add receivers to their roster as well as another quarterback. I'm assuming as a backup due to the fact that Cousins is coming toward the end of his contract. And I don't know if they're moving on or extending Cousins, but that's neither here or there. I have them winning because Minnesota's defense is kind of eh. It's eh. Week 16, I wish it would be a revenge game, but no. We go to Seattle, home of the 12th man. If that stadium is 100% capacity, which we don't know yet, that stadium is going to be very loud. Seattle's got a pretty good offense, a decent defense, but I got Chicago taking the L. Just because, I don't know. I just got that feeling. Week 17 at home at the Giants. We don't need to go into that one. That should be walk in the park. That should not be a problem whatsoever. If you missed this part, the New York Giants traded the 11th pick to the Bears for the Bears. Let me try and remember here. It was the 2021 20th pick and a 5th round pick, I think, and a 2022 first round pick and a 4th round pick, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. But the Giants should not be an issue. And then to close out the season, week 18, the last week of what will become the longest NFL season, considering there's 17 games. But anyway, we go to Minnesota to close out the season. This game could either have huge playoff implications or it could be meaningless for either team. I don't know. I'm giving the Bears the L. They sweep. They go math. 5-1 in the division. They sweep the Lions. They sweep the Vikings. 1-1 against Green Bay. That's really best case scenario. Best case scenario is they sweep the division. 6-0 in the division. But I don't see that happening. So we go to my record prediction. Best case scenario, they go 11-6, 10-7, give or take. Depending on who's on quarterback, the more realistic prediction is 7-10, 5-12, somewhere in there, I think. Depending on how the season goes, who's at quarterback, how the season plays out, it could either be a really fun season for the Bears or a very long, dreadful season. But we won't know until September 12th when the Bears kick it off against the Rams in California. Until then, well, I'll make another video between here and then. We'll cover the preseason, any stuff like that. I'll figure something out. But until the next video, like and subscribe, comment below with your record predictions and anything related to the schedule release for really any of your team in general. Until the next video, like and subscribe, comment below, hit the notification bell and all that stuff. And until next time, peace out and take care.